and welcome to Magic in the Middle. I'm your host, Jessica Vitalis, and today we're talking about a middle grade fantasy called Francis and the Monster by author Refe Tuma. I want to start by reading you a couple of sentences from the very opening of the book. August 29th, 1939 was a Tuesday. Under normal circumstances, Francis had little reason to keep track of the days of the week, or the months of the year, for that matter. Calendars were for marking dates and times, for meeting people, and for going places. Francis never went anywhere and rarely saw anyone. With no comings or goings to punctuate her existence, she lived in a peculiar flatness of time, unique to those who never leave the house. Today, all of that was going to change. Now, if you're anything like me, you're absolutely hooked by this opening. Immediately, you want to know all about Francis. Why doesn't she ever go anywhere? Why doesn't she ever get to meet anybody? And why is today going to be any different? The answer, as it turns out, is that her father has dropped some hints that make Francis think that she's finally going to be allowed to travel with her parents, who are world-renowned scientists. That ends up not being the case, but what's worse, her father leaves her with yet another tutor, one he calls Hobbs. But Hobbs isn't the same as the rest of her tutors Francis has had over the years, because Hobbs is short for Household Operations Bionic Butlery and Education Servant. In other words, Hobbs is a machine. Steaming that her dreams to see the world have been thwarted yet again, Francis steals into the basement where she's determined to prove her scientific worth to her parents. Only she ends up releasing a terrible monster that escapes the house and straight into the heart of the city. If Francis and Hobbs can't find a way to stop the monster, more than Francis's science career is on the line. People are actually going to die. Of course, there are all sorts of clues in this story that Francis's life is not quite as it seems, but I don't want to give anything away. So I'm going to leave you with my top 3 favorite things about this story. First, Francis is a great twist on Frankenstein. Second, Francis's companions in this story are fantastic. There's the above average intelligence chimp, the boy that Francis meets in the city, and of course, Hobbs, or his head anyway. You'll have to read the story to find out what happens to his body. And finally, I love the themes in this story. The author not only challenges stereotypes about what it means to be a boy or a girl in this world, but he'll also make you take a hard look at who the monsters really are in our world. So be sure to add Francis and the Monster to your TBR pile and let me know how you like it. I can be reached at jessicavitalis.com, on Twitter at jessicavitalis, and on Instagram at jessicavauthor. So that's it for now. See you next month for more Magic in the Middle.